par threes all have water. I just think that hole in particular is just in a weird spot, and I don't know whether there's anything that's absolutely perfect that you can do to that hole that would maybe make that a good par three regardless. I do like the idea of lengthening it. I think the biggest challenge over the years is you have not been able to see that green like you see the rest of them. 4 sits down, you can see it.
Right.
11, because of it, an island green, you can see it. 14's downhill, so you can see it. So to elevate that tee box and be able to look down at the 8th hole could very well be the change that it needs to tie into the rest of the golf course.
They would not toy with changing 9 or 18. The only reason I bring those up is because as golf holes to play, they're terrific. I love 9. I think it's a great golf hole. But you cannot see the tee shot from behind the green if you're a patron who is watching this golf tournament, unless you're watching it on TV. 18, in most locations, you can't see the first shot and barely see the second. And in some places behind the green, you can't even see the second shot until it's on the green. Any way you could really change any of that, or that's just TPC Southland?
I don't see any changes there, because any changes there, I think, make 9 in particular easier.
Right.
You know, when I first got here back in 2003, there was a massive oak tree up the right-hand side that blocked anything.
Right.
And when we went in and renovated that fairway, we created that drop-off into that side, so guys, so guys couldn't push that corner and try to cut the corner more to try to work the ball down there. You paid a bit of the penalty to be able to try to drive the ball up the right-hand side and carry the corner. So, and there's also been some trees planted back. I mean, but it's clearly going to take some time. 18, I understand not being able to see it, but I still think that, realistically, 18 is a pretty good finishing hole, and it also ties into TPC properties. If you think about 18 at Sawgrass, if you think about 18 at Scottsdale's got the water kind of up the left-hand side as well. Louisiana has got some water, I believe, up the left-hand side.
So basically, water on both shots is the common denominator.
Well, and think about this. I mean, and I know from a spectator standpoint, but how many times have you seen guys, in particular, during FedEx St. Jude Classic time, where they have a really good round going into number 9, and they dump it in the water. They'll back it down the hill or do whatever, and it's going to be even more challenging this week with the wind in that direction, because historically the prevailing there is
South
going
wind.
to be down, and now it's going to be back into the player,
Yeah.
and that hole always plays longer into the wind than what you think. I mean, for as long as I was here, the 9th hole with a north wind plays at least a half a club or so longer than what you think, because the wind kind of swirls, comes in out of the north, but it also, kind of comes around the tree line there, and there's times you just don't feel it.
That explains why I've hit so many in the water there.
Yeah, and the south wind is real here, but not so far this week. It was almost unbelievable. I'm out in my yard Monday night when the front's coming through. I went, what is that? And it was the wind out of the north. And we're going to have that for sure Thursday and Friday.
Yeah, and it's going to be, very, very different than what these guys have seen. I mean, clearly Dustin Johnson has won here twice, but, I mean, it's been a southerly wind. I was commenting yesterday, I think, to Brett about, they've moved the driving range up onto the top there, and sure enough, you've added all this yardage thinking that guys aren't going to be able to hit it out the back, and then what happens? We get a north wind, and the guys are hitting it probably 20 further than what they're used to, and they're still hitting it back up over the fence.
Yeah, they are. John, you do. You know about every nook and cranny blade of grass out here. I asked this of Dave earlier. You may have heard it, and I was asked this doing a podcast for a friend earlier today. One thing the winner on Sunday, we pour through all the statistics and all the numbers. What is it, the one thing the winner on Sunday will have had to have done over the course of 4 days?
Well, I think we talk about it every single year. With what they have done here in narrowing the fairways, you're not going to be able to miss it. Now, you're not going to be able to miss too many fairways and be able to win this golf tournament. I will say that
drive accurate.
That's what we've all said. That's pretty amazing.
I will say this, though. The rough is not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. In looking at the 18th hole, it was my understanding the rough was supposed to be in about that 3.5-inch range, and I don't see it there.
I've seen it on a regular day in the middle of summer here, tougher or thicker than it is right now.
It was tougher here a month ago for the AutoZone Liberty Bowl tournament.
I think it might have been.
Which, it's going to be interesting just because now I'm going to be very interested to see for those who do drive it into the rough as to if they catch more of a flyer out of there than they catch, something that is a bit shorter. So I'm not saying that it's that tweener that we've kind of dealt with, when we've tried to grow the rough in here in the past, and it's just inconsistent. I think it's very consistent. But because of the height, I think that there's an opportunity for the ball to jump out of the rough more than kind of bury itself and have to be kind of hacked out of the rough, which presents its own challenge.
All right, a guy like you, John, you're in the golf business. You've been around a lot of the big names. You're around good players. You play at you're a pro. You play at a high level. Give me one guy in this field that it gets it going for you. You're excited to see, hey, there's so-and-so. I mean, because today when walking over here to do this show, I don't know many years that Bubba Watson's been here. And I thought, he's not my favorite player, but there's Bubba Watson. Is there a guy like that for you?
I mean, Bubba definitely comes. Henrik Stenson's one for me. I don't recall Henrik ever coming here when I was here. But then again, as I was telling somebody earlier, I clearly was not paying attention the last few years I was here because Brooks Koepka's been here, and I could swear on my life I've never seen him here.
Oh, no, he's been here.
So, to see how Henrik Stenson's going to play this golf course, because I see him playing a lot of 3-woods on this golf course, and clearly that's a strong club in his bag. I think with the distance and everything, I can see him playing a lot of 3-woods here, which I think could ultimately play to his strength, and it will be interesting to kind of see how he winds up playing this golf course.
Well, I got a feeling he'll be available for you on your pick.
I bet he will.
But let's start with the Barracuda. Let's make our picks. Drew, get ready because you are up first. This is the Barracuda. Any thoughts on the Barracuda? I don't even know much about this golf course.
I don't. I'd be faking it.
This is the Stableford one out in Reno, right?
That's news to me that it's Stableford, but I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure that's
So
they played on this golf course for some time. It's
so high
a lot of undulation. Yeah, a lot of undulation. Change. The last hole, to my recollection, is a gettable par 5. The guys can make eagle and get a substantial amount of points to try to win the golf tournament. How about that?
I used to like the Stableford. We're gonna have Jim.
I used to think it was in Colorado.
It was. Castle Pines. Jim.
Right. The International.
Jim Gallagher won there one year, and he will be with us tomorrow afternoon. All right, Drew, you can pick any two you want. There's no real shock parameters around this week. I'm afraid I might get some chuckles out of my shock pick on the Barracuda. Fire away, Drew.
Well, for a guy that I guess I'm going to take for my lock, I'll take Sam Saunders.
Sam Saunders.
Grandson of
Arnie.
And I will take Martin Laird.
Marty Laird for Dave. I will take Russell Henley.
I will take Ryan Palmer.
Ryan Palmer. So grandson of Arnold Palmer and a Palmer in there. That's pretty good.
Drew, who's your shock?
I'm going to take Austin Cook.
The old Razorback, who played well last week.
I'll take your favorite guy, John Goen, Cameron Tringale.
Gosh almighty.
And I will take, also from the University of Georgia, like Russell Henley, and he had a good tournament last week, a tough last 3 holes. First name is Sepp, S-E-P-P. Last name Straka. Sepp Straka.
Wow.
Okay.
I have no idea who that guy is.
Got a wow.
You could have had Bill Haas, for God's sake.
Got a wow and okay. Drew, give me one word after wow and okay.
What? That would be the word I'd give you.
Exactly.
All right,
John, your last one.
Well, you left me Bill Haas, so I'll take him.
There you go. That was easy. Now to the good stuff.
Okay. Who is Drew's lock for this WGC FESJI right here at TPC Southwind?
I was going back all morning between DJ and Brooks Koepka, and then I went to Brooks Koepka's press conference today over at the media center, and I've got to go with DJ because Brooks told us that he will not be eating any local barbecue because he brought his own chef. And I can't pick a man that does that. So I'm going DJ.
And was it hypnotic in how he speaks? Man, it is.
Yes, it was.
It is very, very matter of fact, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Because he has his own chef, he's being serious about this tournament. He can win $4 million with this because he would also win the Wyndham's bonus. He's got to be motivated. He's my guy. I'm not leaving him for anybody else.
That is?
Brooks Koepka.
Brooks Koepka. All right, to my pick. Get the laugh track ready. He led the field last week at the Open Championship in driving accuracy. He played really well at Scottish and Irish Open the 2 weeks before that. I'm a little scared of him on the Bermuda, on the greens here.
You should be.
I'm going to take Tyrrell Hatton.
He was my shock pick. You're making him your lock?
My lock.
Wow. Okay.
I think he's 38. I don't think he would have qualified for shock. Just barely.
Okay. I got to be 40.
John?
Well, I guess I'm going to hope for a bounce back. I'm going to hope that missing the cut, humiliated in front of his home crowd, that Rory comes in highly motivated this week and winds up winning the inaugural FedEx St. Jude Invitational.
That would be a good 18-hole scene, wouldn't it?
Would be.
It would be good. All right, Drew.
Who's your shocker?
My shock, I'm going to go with Matthew Wolff. He's just been hot. He's stayed hot, and hopefully he continues it.
What a spring and summer for Matthew
Wolff.
Wolff.
I'd kind of like to see him win. That would be an unbelievable story. To win a WGC after he won in his third attempt on tour. The kid was the NCAA champion this year. To have 2 wins, including a WGC, that would be amazing.
And then here we would be rooting for the rest of his career superstardom. Go win those majors.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I would love
Dave?
for that to happen. I'm going to go with number 40, Ian Poulter.
Allowed. Saw him out there today. He looked different in shorts too, didn't he?
He did. He's got a big frame, much bigger than I remembered.
All right, my shock pick. I don't know if either my lock or shock would be great for moving the needle for TV on Sunday, but I'm trying to get a winner here. I'm going to go with the Brit, Cameron Smith.
Okay.
Wow. Thank you, John.
We had this conversation yesterday, didn't we?
I think he was wowing because he's got to figure out his shock here.
I think
all 3 of my shocks are still here, so I'm kind of like, okay.
All right, who are they?
So the 3 I've got to choose from. I've got Horschel, Snedeker, and Alex Noren.
It's exactly right. I had all 3
Dave
of those.
had them all. I know who Dave really wanted.
I watched Alex Noren today. I watched him play 10. And, oh, my God, he was awful.
And remember, this is
terrible.
This is double money.
He missed 3 shots to the green from right in front of the creek.
And if you won with your shock pick, it would be double the double. You're talking $8 million.
Wow. That would topple John Gowen.
It would.
It'd topple
easily
kingdoms.
Alan Hickam really wanted me to pick Alex Noren. My golf pro down at Timber Trust really wanted me to pick Alex Noren.
Can I tell you this? I have talked and love Alan Hickam. He's done these picks with me before. That's kiss of death. I'm just telling you right now.
I'd love to go with my guy. I'd love to be able to go with my guy Alan, but I just
kiss of death.
The guy who was excited, who has been here, who has been a part of the plane dedication, he's given $1 million, and everybody else, he's a FedEx Cup champion. I will take Billy Horschel as my shock
where I
pick.
would have gone right
Billy
there.
Horschel, I'm telling you, he could be Memphis, FedEx, Southwind, World. He could be the Chamber of Commerce rep. He can tell the St. Jude story, the FedEx story, the Fred Smith story, the Mike Glenn story, the Alan Graff story, the TPC. He loves this tournament, this town, the affinity he has for the FedEx Cup. He says, he hadn't won a major yet, that it was just like a major for him, and not just getting the $10 million check.
No. Granted, we're only picking 8 guys, right? But DJ, Matt Wolf, okay, that's the shock part of it. Brooks Koepka, Hatton out of nowhere, Rory, Billy Horschel. You realize we have left Justin Rose, Matt Kuchar, Jordan Spieth, Adam Scott, Phil Mickelson, all these guys
that we would have been dying to have in the past.
Left off our picks. That's how deep this field is.
No, it's going to be a fun few days, and I think again the golf course is set up for I think a lot of fireworks. I think that there is going to be plenty of opportunity for these guys to get out there and make a lot of birdies on this golf course.
As always, we thank you for coming out. We appreciate it. Everything good at Timber Truss?
Everything's good. Yeah, no, we had a really good. Now that the weather's kind of come back to a bit of normalcy. We had a lot of folks come out and visit us for the first time in a while because of the heat yesterday, and we're continuing to see very positive things through the course of the week. Keep in mind, late tee times here, Saturday and Sunday, gives you an opportunity to come down to Timber Truss on Saturday morning for our split tee start. When we got tee times from 7 to 8:45, you can get down there, you can play golf Saturday, Sunday morning, you can still make it here to watch the golf tournament Saturday and Sunday afternoon.
Yesterday when we were visiting.
Those split tees like the pros here on 1 and 10.
Except we're not starting at 10 or 11 o'clock. We're going to start at 7 a.m.
Gotcha.
Yesterday, John and I were visiting, and somebody walked by and said, "Hey, John, how's play down at Timber Truss?" And he said, "If we're not full today with this weather, we're doing something horribly wrong." And you were full yesterday.
We were full.
It's been great.
Absolutely.
John, thank you so much.
Thank you all. Good luck the rest of the week. All right.
You.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. One of our sponsors for last week for SEC Media Days and also this week, it's Ronnie Grizzani's. Nothing says Memphis Italian food like Ronnie Grizzani, celebrating 110 years of Grizzani's restaurant history right here in Memphis. Very renowned chef Judd Grizzani, proud to be carrying on that family legacy in the new Ronnie Grizzani's, named for his legendary father. In Regalia Center, Poplar and Shady Grove, extensive Italian and American wine by the glass, and also at just a great bar. Sports always on. The tournament, Golf Channel will be on about every waking hour this week. Open for lunch Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., and it's not all pasta. The burger, the salads, the Miss Mary salad, the Italian Cobb salad. And when I mention that burger, the big Ronaldo burger, it is fantastic. Live music on Wednesday and Thursday night. Stax legend Eddie Harrison tonight. Tomorrow night, pianist Keith Kimbrough. Brunch on Saturday in addition to lunch from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The crab Benedict, just outstanding. The shrimp and polenta, terrific. Italian BLT, fresh oysters and crab daily. Fun bar with signature cocktails. 2 private dining rooms in Regalia. The first family of Italian food. Ronnie Grizzani's, Regalia, Poplar, Shady Grove.
Our title sponsor, this hour is presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch. That's Homer Skelton Genesis as well, and they're making a big push with the Genesis car. They're going to enlarge that dealership. They're going to have 2 separate entrances, probably a red carpet, to the Genesis car, which is, to me, the best elite luxury car that you can get. I think it is outstanding, and there's assurance with both the Genesis and the Hyundais. They call it the Hyundai Assurance. That's 10 years, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on any new car like my Santa Fe, which I am in love with. And you got to check out the new Palisade. A little bit bigger than my Santa Fe with all the new technology, all the bells and whistles. And if you go to Homer Skelton, you're going to get the shopper assurance. I want you to ask Chris True. It was his brainchild. You ask him about that. You'll love what you hear. This is the way the car business should be done. Just get on Lamar. Take it into Mississippi. The first exit's Craft Road. Turn left, and you'll be there. Homer Skelton Hyundai. Back in a minute, Doug Bell from Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio. He's next with us on Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
The Tigers, the Grizzlies, the SEC. We are real sports talk.
I love it.
Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Sleepy Z's Mattresses by Michael Zellner is the winner of the Memphis Most Best Mattress Store for 4 straight years. They have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, and Sleepy Z's is the mattress store where you could save 50 to 80% off retail store prices every day of the week. They carry Serta and several other brands and have hundreds of mattresses to choose from. Go there today and mention Sports 56. You'll get an extra 10% off any mattress or furniture. Call Michael directly at 901-359-1040. It's Sleepy Z's, located at 2790 Kirby Winton Road.
The copperhead snake. It hisses before attacking. But that's not a copperhead. That's the Sullivan's RV freshwater tank overflowing into their black one, which is backing into their vent pipe, making for a very different kind of attack. One that arrives just in time for taco night. It's wild out there. When it gets too wild, Progressive has your RV covered. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Stop. Pick up your golf clubs. Head to my favorite place, Vantage Point Golf Center, 9580 Macon Road in Cordova. Open 7 days a week. Vantage Point Golf Center. They got it all. Top Tracer powered by Top Golf. Track your shots like the pros. You know exactly where you hit the ball. Have a beer, eat a sandwich, and relax. Over 50 grass spots and fully lit for nighttime. There are 18 holes of mini golf. It's fun for the whole family. Visit Vantage Point Golf Center. They've got it all. 1 mile west of Houston Levee.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 87.7 FM, as well as online around the world at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere on your phone or tablet by downloading the Sports 56 app, and at home, tell Alexa or Google to play Sports 56. If it's happening in the world of sports, we've got it covered. Wherever you are, stay tuned to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
And welcome back to TPC Southland. We're in the hub. This place will be packed tomorrow. It's gorgeous looking. Brad, I just found something out. Remember, I had a little short in my charger. So I went to this charging station over here, and boom, I mean, just like that. Charged. Loved it. Find out, you know who provided these chargers? Campbell Clinic. So they fixed me up with my knees. Now they fix me up with my phones.
And we get to see Chad.
Yeah, we get to see Chad Gilbert, who just came through. In the meantime, it's always fun to talk to the pride of Birmingham, Alabama. That would be Doug Bell, who, Doug, you and I used to do some stuff on ESPN years ago, and a long time television anchor in Birmingham. In the last few years, you've been roaming the world with Sirius XM Radio, which I must confess, even though that is in competition with us, it's such a good product, I buy it. It's got to be a lot of fun.
Well, it is.
What you do.
It is, Dave. And whenever I see it, it brings back so many memories. You know, the late, great Larry Finch and the late, great Gene Bartow,
Sure.
you know, back in the day.
Sure.
And, gosh, when UAB and Memphis got together in basketball, how special was that?
Oh, those were –
Times have changed,
great.
But that was pretty neat.
And we love Murray Bartow, like I'm sure you
Murray's
do.
back in Alabama, by the way, after spending a year at UCLA. And so he's back in town. But, great to see you. And this, believe it or not, this is my 15th year of working for the PGA Tour and going out and describing the action on PGA Tour Radio, which is on Sirius XM. And you can also catch it at PGAtour.com. But it's been, for me, and I love golf, it has just been a dream come true, walking inside the ropes with the great players. And listen, I wouldn't be doing it for 15 years had it not been for a guy named Tiger Woods.
Right.
And to have described the action and lived through his heyday has been incredible. It really has been. And unfortunately, he's not in Memphis this week, but nevertheless, what an event for you guys.
Well,
we got a good one.
That is the one thing we do lament. We all thought in the back of our heads.
We kind of got it out of our system Friday.
True, we did.
We cried.
The bottom line is when it was first announced for this date, we thought we'd get him. And then you became more excited because he became incredibly more relevant if you can when you're Tiger Woods. But he did because he won at Augusta. So we were all set, but I don't think anybody's angry based on his press conference, because what we saw was a guy who seemed sad in his own right, that he really couldn't go on, that he needed some time off.
Yeah, he's 43 years old. People forget he's in such great physical shape. When you see him, he looks like a 20-year-old.
Right.
But he's 43, multiple back operations, and he just can't play back to back to back. And the win at the Masters was so unexpected, even for him, and I think he's admitted that. He had to step back and exhale, and I think he's still enjoying that. It is interesting, Dave and Brett, when at the beginning of the year, if you had told Tiger, hey, you can win at the Masters and the rest of the year will be kind of a wash, would you take it? I think he'd say yeah.
In a heartbeat.
What I saying?
That's 15.
And Doug, I thought down the stretch at Augusta National, he was crafty, aging left-hander. It was Frank Tanana after he had lost the fastball.
I love that.
And just kind of willed his way to that finish. And then the hardy high fives, bro hugs.
Yeah.
Lifting Charlie up in the air. I hope he didn't hurt himself. But now, with the value of hindsight, and that's always works, looking back, year was over that Sunday afternoon in Augusta.
It was. And remember now, Nicklaus, when he won the Masters in '86, never won again on the regular tour. It's such a high. It was so unexpected for both of those great champions, arguably the two greatest of all time.
Right.
That I'm not sure Tiger. Listen, I was with him and I walked with him at the end of last season at East Lake, and when he broke through in that scene at 18, I said, "This is incredible. This is the greatest sports comeback ever." With all due respect to Ben Hogan and others, and then when he won the Masters, it was so much more that I guess we can excuse even the greatest. Of maybe stepping back going, you know what?
Right.
I need to just step back and reflect.
The difference, though, between Jack in '86, who was 46, and Tiger now is 3 years. And Tiger, although this worried me from his press conference about the hunger to try to get these things, when he goes, well, I'm 43 now. 20 years ago I could be consistent. I don't know if I can. But he's 3 majors away, and maybe he's given up on that one, but he's 2 wins away from becoming the all-time winningest player on PGA Tour history past Sam Snead's 82 regular tour wins. I hope he gets those 2.
That would be phenomenal. And I think that's always been underplayed, and even he has said that, while the 18 majors of Nicklaus is obviously the carrot that he's always chased. Surpassing Sam Snead's 82 victories. I mean, is that incredible?
Amazing.
I mean, and when you look back at a lot of his victories, listen, taking nothing away from slamming Sammy Snead, but a lot of those were small fields along the way. If you look back, in fact, they had to take some of Sam Snead's victories away about 25 years ago. They look back, no, that was an exhibition. No, there were 15 men in the field here.
That one.
Yeah, so they took some away.
Like some of those Bama National Championships.
Oh, see, there you go. There you go. But, no, I hope he gets it. Again, he needed this week and next week to recharge the batteries for what he hopes is 3 in a row for the playoffs and the Tour Championship, and we'll see if he can do it 3 weeks in a row.
I had the pleasure of seeing Doug last week at SEC Media Days.
Yeah.
It was a home game for you. You were only about 5 minutes from the house right there at the Winfrey. So I'm going to do the unbelievable. I'm going to kind of tie in last week SEC football to this week and golf. Did you think, and you were there and you saw the full manifestation of it, did you think what's the one you didn't think of the two you'd see? That we would have a conversation about somebody topping Coach Bryant, and we are, with a coach at Alabama and Coach Nick Saban, or Tiger Woods topping Jack Nicklaus?
Boy, great question. Probably,
that's tough.
Probably somebody surpassing Coach Bryant on the football side of things. I always thought Tiger had an opportunity, and then he went into the wilderness for a variety of reasons. And now that he has the win, everybody's talking about, well, maybe he can get back. I don't think he will. I think the football is still a possibility. It was fun, by the way, and a little off course, but we're doing all the interviews last week, and Matt Luke comes in, and, of course, you do all the Memphis stuff.
Right.
And the question, I was working with Dennis Dodd from CBS Sports,
yeah,
who posed the question to Matt Luke, your opener against Memphis. Memphis is one of only 7 teams heading into this season that are favored in every football game. And Matt Luke was like, really? And Dennis Dodd's like, yeah. I mean, they're really going to be good. They're favored in every game. Now, this is preseason if you go to Vegas. So I think you're headed, Dave, for good stuff in football and basketball. This could be a special year.
From your mouth to God's ears, as they like to say.
And Matt knows it. A lot of our Arkansas friends, you just met our friend Trey Shepp, a lot of our Arkansas friends last week, they were wanting to talk about week 2 from the Ole Miss perspective. And I said, can't think about anything but August 31st against the Memphis Tigers, because I saw this today. This I don't know if it amazed me. It's just where this program has gotten to. Teams that have won 8 college football games or more each season since 2015. Listen to this list that the Memphis Tigers are their own. Alabama, App State, Boise State, Clemson, Georgia, Iowa, LSU, Michigan, Ohio, Frank Solich, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Stanford, Washington State, and Wisconsin. That's elite.
Well, and the truth be known, if we're going to talk about that game coming up on August 31st, the enormousness of the last time it was played in Memphis, it got Justin Fuente a job at Virginia Tech, and it made Paxton Lynch a first-round draft choice of the Denver Broncos. I don't think without that win and the fashion with which it took place, where Memphis fell behind 14-0 and then scored 31 in a row, without that, I don't think those two guys have the path that they ended up being on. I want to ask you, Doug Bell, a little bit about the players who you talk to all the time, their perception of this golf course, and coming to Memphis. This tournament got actually a little shot from a CBS guy last week because of heat and humidity, and in particular the golf course, which I think players love.
Well, first off, in my mind, TPC Southwind is a vastly underrated golf course. I think it's a great track. I enjoy it. And obviously it's changed over the years when they went from bent to Bermuda greens. Right. It went from perhaps one of the easiest, top 5 easiest courses on the PGA Tour now to one of the top 15 toughest. So the course has changed dramatically just with changing the greens. Among the smallest green complexes on the PGA Tour, Pebble Beach is first, and Memphis Southwind is right up there in top 3 smallest greens. Yeah,
I did not realize that.
And this is a golf course that I think it favors long hitters because you have 7 par 4s that are over 450 yards, and you can extend those close to 500 yards. So a guy who hits it farther in the rough
Brooks
or not
Koepka, Dustin Johnson,
is going to go in with short
Rory
clubs.
McIlroy.
Exactly. And the par 3s are difficult. And again, if you go, for example, 14, if you're going in with a 9-iron as opposed to a longer club,
7-iron,
you're going to have an advantage.
Sure.
So I do think that a guy like Rory, DJ's had a lot of success here for obvious reasons. Koepka, all these guys who hit it a ton have an advantage. Gary Woodland, saw Gary a little while ago. They have an advantage over somebody like Ches Reavie, who leads the tour in fairways hit in regulation at like 76%. Never misses a fairway.
But what is his average drive?
He's coming in a long way compared to these other guys. So to answer your question, that was kind of a long answer, but I think the players who've been here really like it. DJ, Phil, Billy Horschel loves the track. A lot of the guys have never seen it. They're playing it for the first time, especially some of these European players who are flying in. Lucas Bjerregaard's never played in Memphis, and he's a heck of a player from Denmark, by the way, who did really well in match play and beat Tiger in match play. So I think the people in Memphis are going to see a lot of big-name players they've never seen before play here, which I think is really cool for the city of Memphis. But it is a World Golf Championships event. It's different than the regular tour stop. And, boy, you guys now listen, Tiger's going to be back. But every year you're going to have, top 65 players in the world that are going to be coming here.
Yeah, right.
No cuts.
Every year. That's the beauty. I love that part of it.
Every year. And the great thing about it is if let's just say you're a fan of Phil and he's not playing well, he's going to play all 4 days. There's no cut.
Right.
So you can go out and follow him all 4 days. And so I think that's another big thing about the World Golf Championships.
And we should point out, because this is different and kind of weird for us because we're not used to it except for the first day, they're going to be teeing off of both 1 and 10 all 4 days.
Right.
The leaders will tee off of 1 on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, they play at threesomes. They're going to play relatively fast for threesomes. But again, I think in the end, you're going to have a long bomber who's hitting wedges into these greens. You know, it's interesting. Koepka, I remember interviewing him a couple of years ago at the Players' Championship, which most consider a very tough track.
Right.
And we see it on TV, the Island Green, 15, 16, 17, 18 is a classic finish. And Koepka had not played particularly well at the Players, but I think that day he was 6 or 7 under. And I said, Brooks, tell me about the round, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, well, it's not that tough. He goes, I hit a wedge into every par 4. He goes, actually, I hit a wedge into every green. And I was like, what do you mean you hit a wedge into every green? And he goes, oh, okay. I hit a 9-iron into 18 because the wind was in my face. So I'm thinking, oh, my gosh.
Darn.
So it's a different animal for these guys.
Boy, it is.
But, think about that. He's hitting a driver, pitching wedge, or sand iron into most of the greens.
It's unreal.
So he's dominated the major championships.
All right, will we have to Brooks Koepka-proof Augusta National someday?
Well, I don't know. Maybe. What a year he had, though, when you think about second, first, second,
right,
fourth.
Really close.
Right. If he'd have finished second, it would have been the first time in the history of golf that a guy would have finished first or second in all 4 majors. What kind of a guy is he?
Well, I think he gets a bad rap. I think a lot of people say he's arrogant, comes across a bit cocky. But I will tell you, he grew up in South Florida where I grew up. His parents are phenomenal people. They're just fun people to hang out with. And you wouldn't know that their son is, number 1 player in the world. Robert Koepka is his dad, is a great guy. But Koepka, my son, who's 19 years old, he's a football player, but he loves golf. And I took him with me to Hawaii. Nice trip. Hope he remembers that.
You're
Sunday.
a good dad.
And he said, Dad, I want to meet 2 people. I want to meet Rory McIlroy and I want to meet Brooks Koepka. I said, okay. And so we go out on the Wednesday as they're practicing. This is in Maui. Phenomenal guys.
I've played that golf course.
Yeah.
Thanks to
the plantation course. Yeah.
Thanks to the University of Memphis.
I've been out there for basketball.
I've been out there 4 times.
Sure. And so we go up, and Rory is unbelievable. He's just so much fun to be around, and what a nice person he is. And of course, he welcomed Garrett. Took a picture, talked to him, joked with him, and then we go up to Koepka, and Brooks could not have been nicer, and talked to Garrett about playing football, and Garrett was asking about weightlifting, and Koepka was asking how much weight do you lift, and blah, blah, blah. And so I always judge it on how they treat my kids. And he walked away, and he's a Brooks Koepka fan. Oh, my gosh.
Wow.
How'd Koepka do? He'll call me like, what'd Koepka shoot? How'd Brooks do? And I don't know. I just when they deal with teenagers who look up to them and they show respect and they take a little time, I think it says a lot about the person.
It does. You mentioned town to town with this assignment, with this work. I think Augusta National and Pebble Beach, you mentioned about the green complexes, I think they'd be up there. Give me 3 or give our listeners 3 or 4 that when you're there and all that you've done in sports, you're going, good life. This is a good deal for me.
Well, there's so many, but probably topping the list is Pebble Beach. And when you're there,
spectacular.
Oh my gosh, the sight lines are just unbelievable, and it's a special place, that Carmel area. Just kind of, even when you're away from the golf course, just the lifestyle.
What is that, 17-mile drive?
Yeah, 17-mile drive.
Yeah,
that's Cypress Point, right?
Spectacular.
Cypress Point. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Muirfield Village, Jack's golf course, up in Ohio, outside of Columbus, is spectacular. He has done everything he can to make that equal to Augusta National, and it's pretty close. It's pretty neat. Gosh, there's so many. I'm trying to think. The Florida courses, I grew up in Florida, and they all kind of look alike. They're all nice. A very underrated golf course, and you maybe see it on TV, is the one where they play the Travelers Championship.
I was just going to say
up
that
in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Because you got that I guess it's a triangle or whatever it is.
TPC River Highlands.
Yeah.
And
it looks cool.
Yeah, and I like it and I tell people it's kind of like the Fenway Park and Wrigley Field of professional golf, because it's a small acreage, but they've designed this course that kind of weaves around, and at the end it goes around that lake, which you see on TV, and the water comes into play, and you have 15, which is this drivable par 4, but if you miss the green, it plays like 285 yards, and these guys have trouble getting a par on it.
And they did the total redo of their
Koepka just hit
clubhouse,
7-iron, I think.
Yeah.
They redid their clubhouse this year, right?
They did. Spectacular clubhouse.
There's talk of this maybe being in the offing here, similar to that.
Well, boy, that would be neat. That would be neat. It grew in size almost times 5 in square footage.
Man,
I mean the little the little clubhouse with a big parking lot, and now it's a huge clubhouse with no parking lot. But those are just some of them. That you can't beat the California courses in my mind. Torrey Pines, Pebble Beach.
All right, down memory lane. What about a night at the Coliseum or the Pyramid or BJCC? Those were fun times, wasn't it?
Yeah, man. I tell you, those teams, though, I love Coach Finch, and I know, he had some good teams and he had some down teams, but I know
he didn't have that many down.
Yeah, but I mean, I just love being around him.
Yeah,
I thought he was real.
Oh,
I thought he was a real guy.
He was, and of course, we all, including Brett and everybody in this city, loved Gene Bartow.
Yeah,
loved him. And he came back for a while and was helping out the Grizzlies, so he had a different sort of life later in Memphis with that connection.
And I won a steak dinner on him on Jimmer Fredette. He said
Is that right?
He said he would be an NBA player. And I said, Coach Bartow, I love you, but he can't get in front of anybody. He can't guard me.
My only complaint with Coach Bartow was he always promised he was taking me to Shoal Creek, and the only time he ever offered, which was like 3 times, was every time he knew I couldn't come.
He played there a lot.
He did.
He
was big
really
buddies
did.
with Hall.
It was interesting when he was with the Grizzlies, and he would always tell me, kind of like you at Shoal Creek, Doug, if you ever want to bring the family to a Grizzlies game, let me know. And every time I saw him, right? So the one time, and my kids were smaller, and it was the Lakers and Kobe Bryant. The Lakers were still really good, and Phil Jackson was coaching the Lakers.
Right.
And so I call him, and he laughs, and he he says, so you pick out the Lakers game of all the games you want to go to. He goes, don't worry. So he got tickets for my family, and we had they were mid-court, 4 rows up. I mean, they were spectacular. He comes up before the game and apologizes because he said, I wanted to get you seats on the floor. But because it was the Lakers, and he goes, you picked the Lakers.
Right.
And he goes, I could only get you these seats. And that said a lot about Gene Bartow.
He was something else.
Yep.
Tell Murray we said hello.
I will, guys.
Thank you, Doug.
That is Doug Bell.
2 weeks in a row I get to see you. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
You can listen just about every weekend on Sirius XM Radio. We are late for a break. We better get it in right now. I will let you know that this portion of the program is brought to you by Conway. Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, and, of course, my favorite thing now, the tankless water heater. It's affordable. It's that new technology, but it is so affordable. They've got it down, and you're always going to save money because you only heat the water that you use, and you never run out of hot water. And, by the way, you don't have to worry about a tank bursting because there's no tank. It's wonderful technology, and my water stays hot. I can use as much water as I want to, never running out. 384-3511, 384-3511. That's the number to the tankless at Conway Services, heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric. We take a break. Back in just a minute. We put a wrap on hour number 2 here at Southwind of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Start your day with the Peter Edmiston Experience with C.J. Hertz, right here on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
Chris, I understand that you had some spine issues that were very debilitating, and Schrader Orthopedic actually changed your life. What happened?
After spinal fusion surgery 24 years ago, I could feel bones rubbing together. I had sciatic issues, arthritis. I had been told I needed another fusion surgery. So I was having problems with getting out of bed, walking, carrying my child. Went to Schrader Orthopedics, got the stem cell therapy. It's been a year now, and my life has changed. I get up, I bounce out of bed, I can carry my daughter, I can do yard work, so completely changed. Basically, I forgot the pain I was in prior to that time. I felt like I was in my 20s. and was able to do things that I wasn't able to play golf without being in pain for 2 days. Most of it was the neurological benefit of not having that pain every minute of your life.
Call 901-465-4300 and see how Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell can help you today.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf with their sizzling summer savings specials. Look for hot deals on items like TaylorMade TP5 Picks golf balls, now 2 dozen for only $80. Cleveland CBX wedges for only $99.99. That's a $30 savings. And save up to $200 on Rogue irons. Just a few of the hot specials you'll find now at Edwin Watts Sizzling Summer Savings. Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
Hey everybody, the All-Star Chevy Challenge is here. And I'm telling you, if it's a new Chevy you want, Olive Branch is the place to go, people. Take your best written deal from any Mid-South Chevy dealer to our friends at All-Star Chevrolet, and they will beat it. Or they're going to give you a free tank of gas for the win. So now that I got your attention, yes, July is All-Star Challenge month, when you get to let All-Star Chevy beat that deal on any new Chevy or even pre-owned vehicle you want. Just take the official written deal from any other Chevy dealer, not that one your friend wrote down at the bar, and take it to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch. It's that simple. Not only that, they have the best testing ground of any other Chevy dealership, and when you head to All-Star Chevy, you know you got the best deal. So find new roads to All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch and take the All-Star Challenge. Not in South Haven, it's gotta be Olive Branch. Or go to allstarautogroup.com right now and be amazed by all the hot new Chevys and pre-owned vehicles they have in stock. Don't miss the All-Star Chevy Challenge. You will thank me later.
Now, more of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Here once again are Dave Woloshin and Brad Norsworthy.
Top of the hour, TJ Reeves. Don't forget, Rex Hoggard from the Golf Channel will be with us at 5:30. The hits just keep on coming here at the Hub in TPC Southwind.
If you're headed downtown tonight or anytime this weekend, or really just anytime, get down to Blue City Cafe on world-famous Beale Street, the iconic capital of Beale Street. Ribs, steak, salad, shrimp, sandwiches, and, of course, the world-famous bandbox for live music. Any trip to downtown Blue City should be on the destination list. The best meal on Beale, and it's not close. Appetizers like the cheese fries, the sausage and cheese plate, gumbo, the three-way skillet shrimp, world's best tamales. I've gotten them before just as a standalone entree. The marinated salad that's just been there soaking in all that good stuff. At Blue City on Beale Street, the Memphis strip steak, it's over a pound, 3-pound porterhouse. Be really hungry for it. 2-pound T-bone, hungry for that, and bring plenty with you to gobble up all that good food. Shrimp, fish, chicken. The ribs, best on Beale, featured on Bobby Flay Show on the Food Network. The music in the bandbox, every big star is set in and played down on Beale Street in the bandbox at Blue City. Blue City personifies Memphis. Downtown, Beale Street, and fun. The capital of Beale Street, Blue City Cafe on world-famous Beale Street.
Listening to Doug Bell reminded me of a story. Not too far from here, actually very close to Landers Ford, there is a big gym. And I can't remember the name of the gym. But this was a Sunday morning of the final round of either last year or the year before of the FESJC. And a guy goes to work out, and there he sees Dustin Johnson and Brooks Koepka. Now, I go back to where the most muscular thing a golfer would do would be pumping 8-ouncers in the bar after 18 holes. These guys are not just weightlifting, they got serious weight. And they're competing like with one another on who can hoist the most weight the 3-4 hours before they're going to go play the final round of the FESJC. It is a different world out there, and that's why those guys, as Doug Bell was saying, can hit that ball literally a mile and a half. And that's why I think DJ and Brooks, Rory who can hit it a long way, Gary Woodland who can hit it a long way. I think especially with a soft course like John Gowen was talking about, those are clearly the favorites in this tournament.
Yeah, I think so, and you're going to know exactly how far they hit it too, because it's not going to be a lot of roll. It's going to kind of stick at the landing spot.
I've seen Dustin Johnson carry a ball 360. I know I've seen Brooks do it 320. I think Brooks can hit the ball as far as Dustin. Those two guys are out of sight. And Woodland's another one. I mean, if you can carry 360, what difference does it make? You're hitting a pitching wedge into the green.
Yeah, you are, and there's a lot of players in this. I want people, if you get a chance to, either on the practice area or during the course of play, to watch Justin Harding, maybe the best putter on tour. He can really roll it, and all these guys, they've got game.
They've got game. They got a lot of game. I hear the music in the background. That means we're about to take our top of the hour break. Wow, 2 hours already in the books here at TPC Southwind for us. Brought to you in part by Miramichi. So, guess what? They've aerated Miramichi. Not just the greens, they've aerated the fairways. I must confess, I played it on Sunday, and I thought it was pretty plush. It is going to be amazing over the next few weeks. You got to go see Charlie Long and all the gang. They bought this new agronomical technology, this aerator of fairways. They've got brand new carts. The investment that they have made in Miramichi, it's spectacular. It's why they're the number one public golf course in the state of Tennessee, and they've been that way for several years. Now go see what I'm talking about. You'll love the back nine. It's like taking a walk in the woods. You'll love the front nine because you're going to love all the challenge. It's just a terrific golf course halfway between Memphis and Millington. 27 minutes from East Memphis and about 12 to 15 minutes from downtown, depending on where you live downtown. Miramichi, the number one golf course in the state of Tennessee when it comes to public play. Back in a minute to Tampa we go. Our friend TJ Reeves is standing by. This is a special edition of Sports Time at TPC Southwind.
No matter what your past credit, no matter how much you owe on your trade, no matter if you tried to buy at another deal and were turned down, Sunrise Buick GMC can get you financed. There's never been a better time to trade. Sunrise has hundreds of new vehicles and over $5 million in used car inventory, specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Sunrise has the lowest prices and will not be undersold. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, Sunrise gets you financed when no one else can. Check out the inventory and apply online at sunrisememphis.com. The blowout sale going on now at all Sunrise locations, Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Dad, what are you doing?
Cramming for college.
I'm the one going to college.
Yeah, but we need to figure out how we're going to pay for it all.
Discover Student Loans.
Discover does student loans?
Yeah, they're one of the top private student loan lenders in the country. It takes 15 minutes or less to apply, and there are no fees for the life of the loan. Best of all, I can earn cash rewards if I get good grades.
Really?
Yeah, we still have time to apply and get a great rate.
So I can just chill. College kids still say that, right?
No one says that, Dad.
Really?
Yeah.
Visit discoverstudentloans.com to apply today. Limitations apply.
At the peak of his career, Mark Twain earned $5 a word for the magazine article he wrote. Some wag sent Twain a $5 bill with this note: "Dear Mr. Twain, please send me a good word." On a sheet of paper, Twain responded with one good word: "Thanks." Thanks is a good word because being grateful keeps our perspective clear. When we say thanks, we acknowledge that we can't make it our own. We are dependent on others. Thanks is a good word also because it is grateful. It opens up to the happiness, and it certainly is one of God's words. A young woman with a crippling disease was left paralyzed and almost voiceless. An insensitive social worker asked her one day if she wouldn't just as soon be dead. The girl with a radiant face whispered from her wheelchair, "I would not have missed being alive for anything. I thank God for every minute. Just say thanks." I'm Shane Stanford from Christ Church, Memphis. Remember, you matter.
Visit ChristchurchMemphis.org.
The World Golf Championships FedEx St. Jude Invitational makes its debut at TPC Southwind, July 24th through 28th.
Join me, Dustin Johnson, when I return to TPC Southwind. Tickets are on sale at WGCFedEx.com.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 and 87.7 FM anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also keep up to date with everything going on by keeping up with Sports 56 on social media. Be sure to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook for information on breaking news, station events, big guests, and opportunities to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Stay in touch with Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter today. We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis, WIVG-FM Tunica Memphis, and WPG-FLP Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales.
Here once again
are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
And welcome back. We are at TPC Southwind. We're about to head to Tampa where they got a TPC course that our friend TJ Reeves lives right by.
And
so
he's getting ready to go to camp.
And he is. He's getting ready to NFL camp. He'll give his thoughts on this WGC event and a whole lot more.
TJ knows this course too.
He does.
I mean, we've had some veteran experience between John Gowen, Doug Bell, TJ Reeves. I mean, they have all walked and know this course.
They do. We only bring you the best.
And we do. This hour every day brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales, where they specialize in late model cars with low mileage, very high standards at DeSoto Auto Sales on Goodman Road in DeSoto County. All the cars are test-driven, checked out quite literally head to toe, bumper to bumper. An unlimited inventory at DeSoto Auto Sales, every make, every model. If they don't have it, that will be rare, but if they don't, they will go out and find it for you. No shortcuts at DeSoto Auto Sales. Where you walk in, you're treated like family by kind, courteous employees, down-home environment, no high-pressure sales at DeSoto Auto Sales, but they do care about your time, and they want you to have the ultimate car experience. You walk onto the lot, and you test drive your car, get credit approved, and gone in your new car in less than an hour. We're living in a world today where time matters, and they know that at DeSoto Auto Sales, and they want to make it very simple for you. Very proud to serve DeSoto County and the surrounding area. DeSotoAutoSales.com, 5704 Goodman Road, 662-890-7184. Come on down to DeSoto County for that town and country experience at DeSoto Auto Sales on Goodman Road.
To Tampa we go, and our friend TJ Reeves, and I must ask you this question right off. Are you more excited about Buccaneer camp opening up? And if folks don't know, TJ is the sideline reporter for the Bucs on their radio network and also does all the coaches' shows and TV shows for them. Or are you excited for your old hometown here and the very first WGC FESJI?
Well, it is good to be with you, and I am going to play your song. I'm more excited about the golf tournament for the next couple of days because Buccaneer training camp actually doesn't really get cranked up till Friday, Saturday. And look, I don't mean to demean what I do in the fall for a living here, but this is like over-glorified, three-quarter speed practice stuff. So, yes, everybody's eager, everybody's undefeated for NFL training camps. But none of this really means anything. The preseason games themselves mean a little more, but the starters play so little in so much of those games you can't glean a whole lot. So you just kind of slowly ramp up into it. So I would have to say we can definitely talk a little NFL training camp if you want, but I'm much more interested in the golf than where you are. I am profoundly jealous of not being there for this first installment of the WGC event because you guys are an institution. You have been out there for over a decade on the station doing this stuff, and now this is arguably the best field the event has had, and I know there's going to be a lot of excitement over the next 4 or 5 days.
TJ, I don't think there's any arguing. This is the best field.
This is our favorite week of the year to be on there, to see so many people, and you ought to see the setup we have now. We've always been treated grandly by everybody out here. Anyway, it was behind the driving area. Now we're almost at the dog leg where the water starts on 18 in a place that last summer at the PGA merchandise tent in St. Louis, it was not nicer than this hub we're in now.
So what you're saying is Wolo has finally, after all of these years, upgraded the status of the show and got you prime location. It only took like
air
15
conditioning.
years.
Yeah.
But it's finally. I remember doing the show in the hub there behind the driving range with you guys.
No
on,
AC.
On more than one occasion. The last time that I worked the tournament was the 2009 win by Brian Gay when he ran away with it that year. But having been in and around this event numerous times, I've shared with you guys before. I came back to the old Danny Thomas Memphis Classic when I was a kid, when it was at Colonial. And so this brings back so many fond memories. Again, I was a young guy. I'll date myself. I was probably 1977, right, was Guy Berger. I'm 7, but
Yep.
I am told by my father and others that I was there that day, and we were around Guy Berger on 1 or 2 of the holes, not up close, not following it, and I don't obviously remember it. But I go back with this tournament to spending summers in Memphis and being there. I still relate the story. You always laugh when I tell this. I'll bring it back up. I was there the year that Hal Sutton won in the early 80s, but the thing I remember the most was Greg Norman being there with a heckler that he was ready to fight on the green up around where I was, and I'm looking at my father going, is this a common thing at golf tournaments? This is like straight out of the WWF, that Norman is ready to fight this heckler, and he's got his caddy and a PGA Tour security official trying to keep him away from the guy. So there's a lot of fun remembrances. I remember being around Danny Thomas and Phil Donahue when they would play in the Pro-Am, and they had like the bowling shirts on for the longtime followers of this event that would
Tony
say
Thomas would wear the same thing.
Was it Marlowe's dad and Marlowe's husband, right, with the bowling
brother
shirt that they had on.
That's correct. Yeah. Boy, it goes back a long way. Well, look, it's one of the oldest continuous run tournaments that there is on the PGA Tour. 62 years.
We even got to meet Aunt Dee Dee one year. You brought her by to visit with us.
Very good. Yes, we got to meet Aunt Dee Dee, and Aunt Dee Dee, by the way, sends her regards because she's a big sports fan, and she knows that I talk to you guys frequently, and that's right. We were there, and I think we all Brett, I can't remember if you got in on the dinner. Wolo helped get us a dinner. There were tornadoes in the area on that Friday, that practice round, but we all ended up surviving the tornadoes. We went to dinner, the PGA Tour radio guys, and my aunt was there, my father's sister was there, and she's a huge golf fan, and I still remember we were interviewing the Nick Faldo. Now, I'm not for positive. Who's on the call? This is NBC this weekend?
No, it's CBS, so
it's still CBS.
We
so
would
is
expect
Nick is Nick in the 18th tower, or do we know? Or is he in Baker Finch?
I believe it'll be Jim Nantz and Sir Nick Faldo.
Okay, well, so Nick was at our PGA Tour radio position doing an interview for us and for something else, I think, with the British media, and my aunt is standing 5 feet from Nick Faldo going, my goodness, that's Nick Faldo. And so, yes, this is the kind of thing you're going to see if you're out at Southwind, and with the names like Koepka and Mickelson, and on down the list, Dustin Johnson, the defending champion, and others. It's such a great field, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's great to showcase Memphis.
I got to tell you, really, Dustin Johnson is not the defending champion. I know.
Yeah.
He did win
We're merging a lot
year,
of things, TJ.
But the winner of the WGC event in this time slot was in Akron at the Firestone.
I know. You're like towing the line hard for the tour.
It was Justin Thomas.
But you go to Dustin Johnson, not Justin Thomas. Go to Dustin Johnson and ask him who won the event in Memphis last year the FedEx name. Go ahead and ask him that and see if he doesn't remember that shot on 18.
He jugged it on 18. That's proof positive.
And Brett, you put the picture of the plaque on social media, and I love that. I mean, there are plaques like that all over the PGA Tour. There's one at Bay Hill at Arnold's course where Robert Gamez holed out from the fairway to win, and in that case he was one behind, needing birdie to tie on the 72nd hole the year that he won it, and he holed out from the fairway to win by one, and there's a plaque there for that. I know there's a plaque at Riviera. There's a couple of them, but there's a plaque at Riviera where Robert Allenby hit an amazing 2-iron or 3-iron in the driving rain to win a 7-way playoff. 7 guys in the playoff. Allenby hit it about 3 feet away from probably 220 in the driving rain, and there's a plaque there, and there's a plaque in the middle of the 18th at Southwind because of Dustin Johnson from last year. So you have your fond remembrances of golf, and that's a huge one.
The most famous plaque, I think, is at Augusta, where Bubba Watson hit that incredible shot.
No foot plaque. They don't have one for anybody. They do put a little, a marker flag.
I saw it.
You haven't seen a foot plaque. There's no foot plaque there. There's a marker. They'll put a little flag near the spot, but there's no.
It says this is where Bubba Watson hit the shot.
I was there.
I saw it. I'm telling you.
I promise you it's not.
So wait a minute. We have controversy that there may have been a plaque and it may now have been removed.
There's no plaque.
Are you guys going to come to blows over this, or what's the deal?
I saw a plaque there when I went 2 years ago, whatever it was.
Because people
you were there last year, so maybe they took it out. But I'm telling you, there was a plaque there.
There's not. And they got a little white flag, like a marshal would plant in tournament week. People go down there and pay pilgrimage, but there's no on this spot. I promise you.
Well, there was when I was there 2 years ago.
May have been, but there's not now.
All right. Well, I'm thinking you both might be right, but look, maybe you just go lay a little yellow golf ball in honor of Bubba down there by the little white flag, Brett, and it's all good from where he hits the shot.
I'm stealing this line from David Faraday, and he's that good, and it was that good. With all the foot plaques, he said, if we put a foot plaque at every great shot that Tiger Woods has hit, it would look like the interstate on every PGA Tour course.
That's true, because he's hit a lot of amazing ones at a lot of different places. So, yeah, you can go back. I was just thinking when you guys were bickering back and forth that in the desert at the other TPC, Scottsdale, when he was in contention one year, I'm not sure if it's the year he won it, but I think he was in contention one year, they moved a boulder. The gallery helped move the boulder as the temporary movable obstruction so that he would have a clear shot. And I've seen that plaque. There is a plaque there that Tiger made birdie from here after the boulder in front of you was moved in whatever year it was. So you're right. I mean, he hit so many special shots at so many different places, you would probably run out of coming up with creative things to put on the plaque. That's for sure.
Well, he will not hit one here during this tournament. He made the decision he needed some time off. You saw that press conference. Give me your sense, because it looked like a guy that was beaten physically and mentally, and really not the hungry Tiger who was after Jack's and Sam Snead's records.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. We kind of talked about this in advance of the Open starting last week. That how hurt is he, Brett? You were having your intel, and there were murmurs out of Orlando of what's really going on here. And so now you have those 2 rounds where he's wincing right away on the first shot, and the cold weather is going to bother him, but we knew that before they went to play there. Look, again, I'll say what I said last week. If anybody's earned the right to pick and choose where he's going to play, it's this guy. And we may get to the point here. We may be in the final stages here to where he only primarily plays in the majors anymore, and he's earned that right because he's got exemptions now for them. So that may be what we're coming to here, that we see him in small doses where he can play. The only thing that I am dubious about as a follow-up now that it's come out is he's going to go play a money thing in October in the Far East, the match play skins game, whatever that thing's going to be. If you're well enough to go do that, then I understand where people are going to question why are you not supporting the biggest events on the PGA Tour, something like this or like the playoff events. And I'll be curious where he pops up for the playoffs. Does he go ahead and skip the first one or the first 2? Because I think you were talking last week, he can basically skip into the top 30 potentially without having to play in those playoff events. But I can't remember if they now have that stipulation that you can't just simply do that. You got to play at least one of the events to get
here's
to the
what they've done. They've done it. I think you got to play in all 3 because they're weighting it. So the leader of the points going into the FedEx Cup Championship, the first playoffs, which, by the way, Tiger said he's playing in. The leader starts under par, and I don't know if it's -8 or whatever the heck it is, but you really need to play all 3 now.
Interesting. Well, because you'll be so far behind by the time you get to the second one, much less the third one.
Right.
That you're not going to be able to make up 18 shots theoretically or something like that. But yeah, we'll see where he reappears again. I know it's disappointing that he was not there for this event this week, but I don't think. I mean, there are so many names that are there. It's going to be fun to watch how this one unfolds, and obviously it's different because it's a smaller field. There's not a cut. Having worked a couple of these, including the ones at Firestone, they do have a bit of a different feel, and so it's going to be fun to watch this in Memphis on the big stage here late in the golf year.
It will, and you go over these pairings. We were talking yesterday when they were first released.
Lay them on me. Go.
How about this one? Rory McIlroy, Brooks Koepka, Jason Day. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Sign me up.
Yeah. You'd like to follow that group, huh?
Gary Woodland, John Rahm, Xander Schauffele, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Paul Casey. I mean, everywhere you turn, a former major winner, a big PGA Tour winner, or a big international name that we may not know that much about now.
Justin Rose.
How
about
in time?
Justin Rose did this thing on the putting green with a patient from St. Jude today, and he was up on the media center stage and talking, and what a delightful international star he is.
Sure was.
It's everywhere you turn.
Just a nice man.
On this practice thing, you see Bubba Watson. I just mentioned him. I mean, wherever you turn, you're seeing a big name.
Sometimes not a nice man, but he's a good player, isn't he, TJ?
Absolutely. And you got Phil, and you got names.
Right.
You got names that everybody's interested in to watch and see how this unfolds. So it is going to be a lot of fun to watch Memphis here on the big stage for the golf for this week, boys.
Going back to your younger days, and you mentioned being there, maybe not conscious of it, being there in '77 for Mr. 59, it is quite a history. And I've said about Memphis, we are, and we always have been a great golf town.
Well, yeah, and the tradition that you guys have been talking about for how long that it's been there. And remember, at the time where this was getting established in the 70s, in the early 80s, you had these different celebrities that were attached to the tournaments, whether it was Jackie Gleason to the Doral Miami Open, Sammy Davis Jr. was the Hartford Open for a lot of years. They had, I want to say in San Diego, I want to say, wasn't it Paul Williams, Andy Williams, the actors? They would always have them kind of as the host. Bing Crosby was hosting the Clam Bake, the Pro-Am. So, it became a staple, but it was also in a time period in the 70s and the 80s where these guys were relying on the check for that week. The endorsement money really didn't exist, and if you didn't go and play and succeed and finish top 10, top 5, you weren't getting a decent enough check to make a living. So that's why you got most of the big names and the prominent names to play every week all over the PGA Tour, because they had to. There also wasn't a full year of 35 or 40 events. I think if you go back in the 70s, a lot of times there were fewer than 20 events, 20, 22 events, something like that, and you weren't playing every week. It's great for nostalgia, and Memphis is a big staple on it. And you're right, there's a 59 there. There's Dickie Pride. Let us not forget birdieing the 70th, the 71st, and the 72nd hole to win one year. Dustin Johnson's walk-off last year.
Greg Norman.
Walk-off, isn't that funny? That was absolutely amazing. Hey, I want to switch to NFL real quick before we let you go. And there was an article in The Athletic, a guy who's been doing this poll for a long time. He started with ESPN, now he's with The Athletic, where he basically sends out these forms to 55 different NFL execs, GMs, coaches, and they rank by tier. And normally it's a 5-man front tier, but this was 8. The best quarterbacks in the league. We were talking about the quality of starting quarterbacks in the National Football League. Where would you think Jameis Winston would be in this poll? Out of 32 teams, where would you rank Jameis Winston in terms of where they think he is?
Interesting. Well, and these things are always designed for conversation. And look, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. I would say he's somewhere like in the teens, somewhere between like 13 and 19. Am I close?
No. I will tell you he is ahead of Mitch Trubisky. He's ahead of Marcus Mariota. He's ahead of Eli Manning. He's ahead of Sam Darnold. He's ahead of Lamar Jackson. He's ahead of Josh Rosen. He is not ahead of.
He's not ahead of 20. I can tell by your voice. He's not
ahead
20,
of Joe Flacco. He's not ahead of Andy Dalton.
Well, but in Flacco's case, are we basing that on obviously what he did at a Super Bowl level a few years ago?
They're ranking them as to how they think they will perform this year. Trubisky is 25, Eli's 24, and Jameis is 23, even with the quarterback whisperer.
Bruce Arians, right. Well,
yeah.
Look, I mean, Denver had awful seasons the last 2 years. There's great debate about whether or not they're going to be any good this year. Flacco, we know, is not mobile to begin with. He had a hip injury that had him out for a while. I mean, if you look at any of those young quarterbacks you named and Jameis Winston, I think most everybody would say, give me Jameis Winston. Not on the basis of past accomplishment, but potential for this year. Give me those younger guys before you give me Joe Flacco, especially in a bad situation in Denver, where they've been bad the last couple seasons.
It's at the end for Joe Flacco, and when we talked about this a lot more yesterday, boy, John Elway, he didn't like anybody but John Elway playing quarterback in Denver.
Well, and look, he deserves credit. They deserve the credit for having landed Peyton Manning when they did, and what it brought them, and it did eventually bring them a Super Bowl, and they became a Super Bowl-level team. But you look at kind of the before and after that with trying to figure out who the quarterback is, and it's not been pretty, and that's the one thing Elway's supposed to be known for. So I'm being kind with that, but, I mean, that's the folks in Denver around, and you realize they had back-to-back losing seasons. That had not happened since, 1969, 1970, I believe.
Wow.
Is correct? Is the last time that Denver had back-to-back losing seasons before the last two.
That's amazing. I did not know that.
I didn't either.
Just real quick, since you're on the NFL sideline every weekend, how would you rate the top 5 quarterbacks?
Wow. Well, I mean, it just depends. I mean, everybody's in love with Patrick Mahomes, but he hasn't won anything. So I mean,
he's 4.
Brady is
he's 4
the
on this list.
Standard. Well, but I mean, he's the. So again, are you asking me what is on the list and to guess, or what I would pick?
I'm asking
Brady,
you. I'm asking you to guess how you would rate it. Not guess. Give me how you would rate it. I'll tell you how it is. It's Aaron Rodgers,
all right, I would have
Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Patrick Mahomes, Andrew Luck. Those are your top 5. In the top 8.
Where's Aaron Rodgers in that? Aaron Rodgers far more accomplished than Andrew Luck. And Aaron Rodgers has got to be in front of Andrew Luck.
Aaron Rodgers is 1. He's ahead of Brady. Breeze is 3. Mahomes is 4. Luck is 5. Rivers is 6. Roethlisberger 7. And Russell Wilson 8. And that's your first tier of quarterbacks.
Interesting. Well, and it's the great debate on how long does Brady continue to play, and especially at a high level at almost 42 years of age. It's amazing. Right. So here we go with another year of seeing what he can do, what Breeze can do at an advanced age, what Roethlisberger can do. Can Eli Manning get it back? I know that's near and dear to you, Stats. Can he get it back in New York because they've got a rookie waiting in the wings? So it's all about to start, and this is just like spring training with baseball and the start to the baseball season. Everybody's undefeated right now. Everybody's optimistic that this is going to be the year we win 10 games. I mean, to hear it be told everywhere, Cleveland, pencil them in as division champs or playoff team or playoff contender or playoff something, we all get to have optimism, I guess, this time of year.
He's our friend, TJ Reeve in Tampa. TJ, thanks, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
I am profoundly jealous. Enjoy the FESJI. I'm looking forward to watching it this weekend, boys. Be well.
Thank you, TJ.
TJ Reeves.
TJ Reeves with us, and I've talked about Harry's and the good feel you get from that cool breeze, from that fresh shave you get from Harry's. Harry's delivers high-quality, travel-friendly shave supplies at a great low price, just $2 per cartridge. Join the 10 million who have tried Harry's, and you can get that good, fresh summer feeling. Get a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just use offer code STATS at harrys.com. Harry's founders were 2 regular guys, Andy and Jeff, and it was simple. They were tired of getting ripped off and paying for overpriced razors, so they did something about it, including buying a world-class blade factory in Germany that's been making some of the best razor blades for almost 100 years. And speaking of 100% quality guarantee. If you don't love your shave, let them know, and they'll give you a full refund. Harry's cares about giving back. 1% of sales are donated to charitable organizations. This summer, Harry's has a special offer for listeners of our show. New customers get $5 off the trial set from Harry's with code STATS at harrys.com. That means you get a razor, weighted handle, foaming shave gel, and travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping when you use code STATS at harrys.com. And when you run out, remember, Harry's replacement cartridges, just $2 each. When I shave with Harry's.
Halfway through our final hour here at TPC Southwind, this is a special edition of Sports Time with Wolo and Stats.
Spend your lunch with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 middays, delivered by FedEx. Weekdays from 10 to 1 on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM.
I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses. I Buy Houses will buy a house in any area, in any condition, and yes, it's guaranteed to close in 5 days. If you need to sell your home quickly, call 901-406-1101. If you've been through a divorce, if you lost your job, if you're tired of renters, I Buy Houses can get you your money quickly. I Buy Houses will buy your home in Shelby County, DeSoto County, Memphis, Bartlett, South Haven, Horn Lake, Olive Branch, anywhere and everywhere in between, in any condition. And yes, they're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I Buy Houses, 901-406-1101. That's 901-406-1101. Grab that pen, 901-406-1101. I Buy Houses.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf with their sizzling summer savings specials. Look for hot deals on items like TaylorMade TP5 Picks golf balls, now 2 dozen for only $80. Cleveland CBX wedges for only $99.99. That's a $30 savings. And save up to $200 on Rogue irons. Just a few of the hot specials you'll find now at Edwin Watts Sizzling Summer Savings. Edwin Watts, home with a 90-day satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
At Jason's Deli, you can stuff yourself full of great deli food that's healthy, fresh, and best of all, it's not expensive. Jason's Deli is all about choice. Whether you're looking for a gluten-free menu, vegetarian sandwiches, healthy kids' meals, or if you'd like to invent your sandwich via the build-your-own selections, Jason's Deli has you covered. And they only use fresh, wholesome ingredients. Choose from the club and specialty sandwiches, paninis, wraps, soups, salads, pastas, and much more. I love the cleanliness in the restaurant, the hospitality, and of course the cost. They have a huge salad bar and great soups, including Southwest chicken chili, fire roasted tortilla, organic vegetable, tomato basil, and many, many more. And if you're planning an event, their catering department is fantastic and can handle any size party. Go check out Jason's Deli's 4 locations. On Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, that's my favorite, on Germantown Parkway in Cordova, at Poplar and Highland, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch.
WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational is going down this week with the deepest field Memphis has ever seen. So to set it off right, we teamed up with a Memphis tradition like no other. East End Bar and Grill, Miller Coors, and of course, we are inviting all the wonderful people of the Mid-South to come out this Thursday, July 25th from 4:30 to 6 p.m. to East End Bar and Grill to win tickets to the WGC FedEx St. Jude Invitational, plus free swag from Miller Coors and more. And always keep it locked to Sports 56, 96.1 and 87.7 FM.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brett Norsworthy.
We welcome you once again to TPC Southwind in the Hub's quiet now. I think all the guys who are practicing have gone. I can't tell about the range now because we're far away, but nobody's playing 18. That much I know. But we're having a good time out here. So many nice people have stopped by and said hello. And we thank Landers Ford, the Half Shell, Roosters Men Grooming Center, First Bank, Jason's Deli, Vantage Point Golf Center, Memphis Paints, Blues City Cafe, Miller Lite, Edwin Watts, Ronnie Grisani's, Gatlin Insurance, Curry and Jerk, and the Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center. And I want to personally thank Supercuts. That brings you a portion of the show. 15 locations. We saw their owner, Rob Check, on Tuesday. He was out at, that was yesterday, at the Spirit Shop, and he and his son were in there. They look good because they had just come from Supercuts. You can't help but look good when you go to Supercuts. 15 locations. Go to supercuts.com. You'll find the one that is nearest to you. And you know what? Walk through the door and question them. Ask them about a particular cut. They'll know it, because details matter for all the hairstylists at Supercuts. And every cut ends with the hot towel finish. That means you leave invigorated and relaxed all at the same time. Ask about the MVP, too. You'll love that. You'll love everything about Supercuts in particular, you'll love the way you feel when you walk out because you feel good. You know why? Because you look good when you go to Supercuts.
All the golf talk and all the golf picks that we've had today, I think the thing that, and we'll get to it in crunch time, the thing that kind of blew me away today, Pebble Beach and TPC Southwind, according to Doug Bell, the smallest putting complexes on the PGA Tour. I never have heard that.
You know what? That's probably what makes this course so hard, or can be so hard. You've got the second smallest putting complexes, and you've got the most lost balls in water. How about that combination?
That's one that will be exasperating.
It could be. It could very well be. Yeah, the pros get 4 dozen golf balls from Titleist for every tournament. I don't think anybody. Yeah, they do.
I'd take the range balls. They even look great, don't they?
Do. Well, you know what? Those range balls are brand new Pro V1s or Chrome Soft from Callaway or TaylorMade or Bridgestone.
Dave,
they bring them in for this tournament brand new.
I bet you remember this. Late 80s, early 90s, the golf explosion, really even before Tiger, kind of one that John Daly was involved in. And Ping was trying to get in the golf ball business. And they intentionally, it was like half red and half white balls. Do you remember those at all?
No.
And one time I was playing with them, and I hit it, and our friend Stevie Stevens went, "What'd you do, steal one off the driving range?" And it was a brand new ball out of the pro shop.
This is the truth. The other day I was playing at Miramichi, and I found a ball in a rough that was a Titleist Prestige.
No.
You ever hear of it?
Oh, yeah.
I should have asked you because the 3 other guys I'm playing with, we'd never heard of the Prestige. And I thought it was a little bit like Callaway's now got this new ball out that is called the Magna. And the ball literally is bigger than the average golf ball. I would thought that was illegal, but it's not. And
it conforms?
I'm telling you, the Magna, if you put it down next to any of the either Callaway balls, any
is this after the round or before?
No.
Okay.
This well, it was after, but
I think I'm seeing things.
I
guys.
put it down there, and because somebody told me, and sure enough, that ball is bigger. And I thought maybe the Prestige was like that. Well, it just so happened yesterday I ran into the Titleist guy because he was here putting 4 dozen golf balls in every Titleist guy's locker. And I asked him, I said, "Hey, I found this ball called the Prestige. What the heck is this ball?" He goes, "That ball is made by Titleist for overseas, for Japan, for those that play in the Orient, but mainly in Japan. It is a ball. It would be like they're sort of like their DT Soft. Might be a little bit more higher performance than that, but that's the kind of ball it is. But it's sold mainly overseas. And every once in a while, if they have overages, they'll send it to this country and to the golf courses.
I want you to ask your friend with Titleist this.
Yeah.
We walk into any golf shop, most of us, Joe Q. Public of golf playing world. Are we buying the same ball that he's putting in those lockers?
We are. Now, it's not the same, and I maybe I shouldn't.
Well, are we or aren't we then?
Well,
we are. Or
if you're
are we?
playing a Titleist Pro V1, it is the same ball that Brooks Koepka is hitting. That
they would know no difference
guy.
if I threw one out of my bag.
They would not. They know. They believe me. They know it is the same ball from Titleist. That if you buy, it's the same one they're using. That is not true of other golf balls. So, in other words, there may be a ball out there that has a number of touring pros using, but it's not the one you're buying in the store, is what I'm being told.
What about clubs?
That's a good question. I don't really know the answer. I believe that the clubs are being made
to their specs.
If you go to a Titleist, like you go to Scott Felix, and I'll throw out his name. He's at Spring Creek. I think he's more of a TaylorMade guy or a Callaway guy. But if you go and you want Titleist to make your club, he takes your swing and your measurements and sends it to Titleist. That's how that works.
Just like they would.
Like they would. And it's just like a pro, yeah. Titleist will make to the specs that your swing is built for.
I'm looking at our picks. Drew, are you sure Austin Cook's in the Barracuda?
Almost sure.
Oh,
I checked the field.
I can't find him anywhere.
Let me double check. This can't happen to me 2 weeks in a row.
Well, if it does,
we would let
this
you
time. I don't know. Are we?
Well, it's close.
Are we? Yeah. First time, I'm very, very forgiving. It's like
it may be
first
me.
time, shame on you, shame on me. Second, well, it's actually first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me.
And I'm blind, so it may very well be me. But we did our picks, and for out here, Dave, you went with Brooks Koepka. Drew, you went with Dustin Johnson. John Goin took Rory McIlroy. That'd be a good story. And I think it'd be an upset, shocking win to a lot of people. I took Tyrrell Hatton.
Are you just trying to let me pass you?
No, you think that? I'm going to hold this over you to the end of time.
I wouldn't Hatton have been qualified for your shock?
No, because I think he's inside top 40, barely.
I'll be honest with you. Then, if he had been, I would have snatched him up before you.
Drew, you need to make sure on Austin Cook because
I'm looking right now.
I've scrolled through it. You can have John Daly. Wonder if he's riding.
Is he allowed to? Is he in the cart? I will take him if he's in the
cart.
cart.
John Daly actually playing in the Barracuda?
John Daly's in the Barracuda.
I don't think he would be allowed to ride. Although the PGA let him, it was the RNA that wouldn't. So maybe he is. He's claiming he's got osteoarthritis in a knee. So
yeah, I messed up again. There's no Austin Cook's not in the field. I must have been looking at a pick sheet from 2 days ago or something. Maybe he withdrew. I don't know.
This is sad for the public to have to witness this.
We better get a hold of John Goin to see if he's going to be allowed a replacement.
Yeah,
I'm in last place. Are y'all really that scared?
Well, Drew,
you told me you made the bold statement that you were poised to pass me.
Come up with another pick.
I'm just kidding. Come on. Just let me have a pick.
Find another one. We'll have it in.
All right, give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, we'll let you pick at the end of the program. Which one are you following tomorrow? You're going to go see Justin Rose, Matt Kuchar, Jordan Spieth. You're going to see Rory Brooks,
I'm going to see Jordan Spieth. I want to see. I know a lot of people are going to be loyal to, like Phil and people that have been here in the past. I want to see somebody that I haven't been able to see here in the past, whether the loyalty test or not, it doesn't matter anymore because they're here. I want to see Jordan Spieth, and I want to get as close as I can and see if I can catch that ongoing dialogue, that never-ending commentary he has with his caddy, Michael Greller.
If you can hear it, you're not privy to those microphones, those long-range mics. I think it would be kind of fun to watch that. I'll tell you another one: Gary Woodland, John Rahm, and Xander Schauffele that will go off.
They can move it.
They go off the 10th tee at about 11:53. I may go see a little of that.
Yeah, and it's going to be a really compact viewing tomorrow. It's going to start
both days, all 4 days.
All 4. It's going to start at 11:30, and we would have people playing when we would be through at 6 o'clock. Somebody would still, especially Thursday and Friday, still out there wrapping up. That's over. It's going to be intense golf viewing tomorrow, and our crew will get here bright and early, and it'll be fun.
The last tee times are 1:10, so basically
5:40.
When we get off the air, it's over.
Yeah,
we'll know the leaderboard for sure.
Yeah, we can go catch interviews.
We can
at 6.
Yeah. I know this much. It's going to be a lot of fun to take it all in, and I'm with what Doug Bell was saying. I really believe the winner of this thing will be a long ball hitter because it's wet. John Goin said that, and it favors somebody that will keep it in the fairway and can hit it a long way.
It sure does. We want to, again, thank our sponsors for having us here this week. We're right through 6 o'clock on Friday with all the shows out here. Landers Ford, the Half Shell Roosters Men's Grooming Center, First Bank, Jason's Deli, Vantage Point Golf Center, Memphis Paints, where we were last Friday afternoon having a great time with them, Blue City Cafe, Miller Lite, Edwin Watts, Ronnie Grisani's, Gatlin Insurance, Curry and Jerk, and the Schrader Orthopedic and Stem Cell Treatment Center.
We take the break. We're back with a bunch more, including Crunch Time. Back in a minute as you listen to a special edition of Wolo and Stats Sports Time from TPC Southwind.
Take Sports 56 with you on your phone or tablet. Download our official Sports 56 app today.
Need to get organized? Today is the day for doing with the Home Depot's Pack Store Save event. Put your basement or garage in order with a range of Husky welded steel shelves, including a 4-tier 77-inch rack, just $169. That'll save you $30. Easy to assemble, each shelf has a lifetime warranty and holds up to 1,500 pounds. That gets a lot out of your way. Come into the Pack Store Save event, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Valid until August 25th while supplies last.
No matter what your past credit, no matter how much you owe on your trade, no matter if you tried to buy at another deal and were turned down, Sunrise Buick GMC can get you financed. There's never been a better time to trade. Sunrise has hundreds of new vehicles and over $5 million in used car inventory, specializing in cars and trucks under $10,000. Sunrise has the lowest prices and will not be undersold. Bad credit, bankrupt, slow pay, Sunrise gets you financed when no one else can. Check out the inventory and apply online at sunrisememphis.com. The blowout sale going on now at all Sunrise locations, Covington Pike, Wolf Chase, and Collierville.
Tee it up at Edwin Watts Golf with their sizzling summer savings specials. Look for hot deals on items like TaylorMade TP5 Picks golf balls, now 2 dozen for only $80. Cleveland CBX wedges for only $99.99. That's a $30 savings. And save up to $200 on Rogue irons. Just a few of the hot specials you'll find now at Edwin Watts Sizzling Summer Savings. Edwin Watts, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee, serving golfers since 1968.
If you miss the good old days of great Italian food, rejoice, because Chef Judd Grizzani is carrying on the 110-year-old family tradition. A new Ronnie Grizzani's is now open in the Regalia Center at Poplar and Ridgeway, with lunch 11 to 2 Monday through Saturday, plus a Saturday brunch also from 11 to 2. Live music Wednesday and Thursday nights, an oyster bar with fresh oysters and crab, and an extensive Italian and American wine by the glass list. Don't reminisce about the good old days. Relive them at Ronnie Grizzani's in the Regalia Center at Poplar and Ridgeway.
Welcome back to Sports Time with Wolo and Stats on Sports 56 and 87.7 FM. This hour of Sports Time is brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Here once again are Dave Wolosian and Brad Norsworthy.
And welcome back in. Wolo and Stats final portion of the program, and there's a sad
Still waiting
story
on a pick, too,
coming
from
out
Drew.
here. Did you see? Ooh,
I got my pick. I'm ready.
Okay. Who's your pick?
Drew,
all right.
Way to start a week.
Just to make sure that I am actually looking at the right list, I'm on PGAtour.com. Teeing off tomorrow at 12:44. I'm going to take Daniel Berger.
Daniel Berger. That's some...
In the spirit of TPC Southwind.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? You know that in the old days, as a former champion, he would
He'd be
be in this tournament. He can't play in a tournament. He's won twice now.
He's still on the menu with the Daniel Berger in the
It's different.
in the clubhouse.
This is a bad story coming out of Nashville. Titans left tackle Taylor Lewin facing a suspension after a test came up positive for the banned substance Ostarine, according to a post he actually made via social media. He says, thanks to everyone who sees this video and supports me. My family and I are so grateful to the Titans organization and fans for your support. I will post the polygraph information next. Apparently, he's now going to give a second sample of this. A sample was positive. If the B sample has not come back yet, if it matches, he gets a 4-game suspension. But he disputes that he would do anything knowingly, and he took a lie detector test to prove it.
Well, in afternoon baseball, Rays over the Red Sox 3-2 national, same score in Game 1 of a day-night doubleheader against the Rockies. Phillies 4-0 over the Tigers. Astros 4-2 over the A's. Brewers win 5-4 over the Reds. They needed it. Mariners 5-3 over Rangers. And the Cubs win.
Oh, they win.
4-1 over the Giants.
That stops the bleeding.
Winner was Ryan. Loser Beatty. Kimbrell, number 7. He's paid off.
He has.
Saves.
He has. And this was a game Lester was supposed to start. They win a game, give up only a run, with Lester sick, now he'll be back in the fold. So hopefully.
And you're pretty sure it's not anything serious because
I'm not 100% certain, but I don't think it is. Yeah. I really hope that
he
he's
had
okay.
been through it.
Yeah. What do you think about that Lewin deal? That when you go and take a polygraph, that tells me you're honest.
It tells me you want to be eligible.
Well, if you really were lying, do you think you'd take the test?
I don't think you'd rush to it, no. But it's kind of test-taking time of year.
Well, so now what's interesting is if it comes back a match, sample B to sample A, he still gets the 4-game suspension. But the question will be, or maybe he's answered it, he did not knowingly do it. Because that's what that polygraph is all about.
Yeah, but they all kind of have to know now, don't they? Isn't it a little bit on them to know what's going in them and check with all their
I agree.
Medical people? I mean, the old days of secondary smoke. I mean, come on now. I mean, you got to know better.
I never bought secondary smoke.
No, I haven't either. I think
I didn't buy didn't inhale either, to be totally honest with you.
I've been around some primary smoke, but never some secondary.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Crunch Time.
This is for all the babies. Crunch Time.
You can feel the excitement. You are looking live.
It's crunch time.
Someone call someone because there's a cleanup on aisle 3 as a man is down.
In your life have you seen anything like that?
We'll take questions again for the student athletes at this time, please.
He's a professional. He's pretty classy for his age.
In the crunch time, that's the frustrating part.
Little Penny could make some appearances this year.
Okay, I'm not huge into stats.
Has it always been this way? It's crunch time, so I got a different mind state.
What's happening, big dog? How you doing?
Is this thing working?
Immediately when the buzzer sounds, he lets out this shriek.
You throw those ears forward. He was in stroke mode.
It's obviously crunch time.
It's time for Taco Bell Crunch Time, brought to you every day by Taco Bell, home of the Crunch Wrap, including the Crunch Wrap Supreme, a warm, soft flour tortilla that's filled with seasoned beef and jam-packed with warm nacho cheese sauce, with a crunchy tostada shell with sour cream, lettuce, and tomato. Then it's all wrapped up and grilled. It will fill up your stomach. It will fit in your hand, but it won't take a lot out of your wallet. Perfect on your way home tonight. The Crunch Wrap Supreme. You can only get it. Taco Bell. Taco Bell is home of the Crunch Wrap, and each and every afternoon, they bring us Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Dave, we've learned today and had confirmed just walking around out here and being in the media center for interviews and pressers and such, the stars of the sport are here in Memphis, and maybe only an NBA All-Star game could eclipse the totality, the number of big stars. But no assemblage of stars has ever topped this incredible field. The course is ready. It should be exciting. I'm ready for 11:28 tomorrow, 1 and 10. It's going to be not that long a day for first tee announcers, will it?
No. It'll be about a 3-hour day, I think, 3-4-hour day.
What'd you learn?
Well, one thing I learned from Doug Bell was that Pebble Beach has the smallest putting surfaces on the PGA Tour, and TPC Southwind is number 2. I would never have guessed that.
I would have guessed Colonial, where the Hogans played, because being older. Before that,
I would have thought Pinehurst number 2.
But that's not a regular tour
Any
stop.
Donald Ross golf complex.
That's not a regular tour stop.
Is there any other tour stop that's got a Donald Ross golf course? Because
Yeah.
those are small greens.
A couple. I would think something older, smaller, along those lines.
Yeah.
But anything newer, I mean, you'd love to have a house the size of some of the greens.
Absolutely.
In some places.
I was stunned at that. I also agree, a long ball hitter. It makes sense on a long course that's wet that a long ball hitter will have an advantage, and I think that's the case here. And then finally, the Zion deal, we're learning more. Zion Williamson is now signing the richest rookie shoe deal in the history of the league. It's 5 years, and it is at least a $10 million a year deal. It's $50 million minimum.
But all the smart kids told us that you couldn't get that kind of deals if you weren't in New York or Chicago or Los Angeles. At Memphis and New Orleans, you couldn't do that.
If you go to Duke, you can.
You sure can. And that year at Duke, it helped him and it helped Duke.
No doubt.
It did. What is it you could have done without today?
I could have done without this story that's interesting. Confusion reigned in the Red Sox-Rays game when a series of defensive changes prompted Boston manager Alex Cora to protest the game due to the placement of subs in Tampa Bay's lineup after the DH was removed. The eighth inning lineup switch appeared to leave the umpires bewildered in St. Pete, Florida. They had to stop the game for almost 15 minutes as they huddled on the mound, staring at lineup cards.
You got to be able to keep your lineup right. That's in Little League.
I know it.
I mean, that's something you got to be able to easily do. I could have done without this with Jalen Ramsey showing up at camp today in an armored Brinks truck on the same day, kind of the symbolism of Adrian Peterson's breaking news. Yeah, I know he got a lot of laughs from his teammates, and it went viral. But on the same day, I thought it was a bad look for Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey needs to play ball like he did in the AFC Championship game year of 2 years ago and less like he did last year. I thought Tom Coughlin would clean kind of that team discipline hijinks up a little more than he has. Wouldn't shock me if Jalen Ramsey got traded in season. What are you keeping a close eye on tonight?
We got plenty. Cards, Pirates. And now the Cards need to win since both the Brewers and the Cubs are winners today. Royals, Braves, Angels, Dodgers, and don't forget the World Long Drive Contest coming up.
And you're right about it. Already going out there and posting those afternoon W's like they did. The Cardinals have to win in Pittsburgh. Hopefully no WDs in this field. It'll be 21 threesome starting tomorrow around 11:28. A lot of golf the next 4 days. Matt Carpenter, he was 0 for 2 last night in an injury rehab assignment in Memphis. He'll be in the lineup again tonight at 3rd and Union for the Memphis Redbirds against New Orleans. New Orleans will play their last professional game ever in Memphis tomorrow night. 16 baseball games today. It started with the day-night doubleheader for the Rockies and the Nats and all the afternoon action. Everybody playing tonight. Only about 3 games on the whole baseball schedule that are really throwaway. Everybody in games that matter. Yankees and Twins, no way they can match last night's crazy game. Angels Dodgers late tonight at Chavez Ravine for the Battle of L.A.
This story just coming out. Apparently it happened last week. Sergio Garcia hit a bad shot on the 5th hole final round of the Open Championship in Northern Ireland. Caught in the worst of the week's weather, Garcia can be seen hitting a wayward drive at the drivable par 4 before throwing his driver at the caddy, his brother, Victor. They got a video of it. Garcia doesn't appear to have been throwing the driver at his brother in a malicious manner. The optics surrounding the video are certainly not very good. Wow. He got cracked again. Final portion of the show brought to you by Homer Skelton Hyundai in Olive Branch, and Homer Skelton Genesis. And by the way, since I give you all these accolades, for 11 years in a row, the #1 certified pre-owned car dealership in all of the Memphis area. There's a reason why they do car business like it should be done. When you're talking about service, when you're talking about assurance, like 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty on all the new cars, and when you talk about the certified pre-owns, just the best. Take Lamar into Mississippi. First exit's Craft Road. Turn left. You will have found your way to Homer Skelton Hyundai. I guess the storyline I'm going to look for now is, will Sergio throw a caddy at anybody? Throw a club at a caddy or anybody tomorrow?
I hope not. You know, he didn't have a great time the last time he was here. He left kind of in a huff on a hot day. Played with Ben Crane.
Yeah.
It took a a long time to play.
Well, didn't he get an eye infection one time when he was here?
He's never
came here and he really couldn't play because of it.
He's never had a great time here, and since winning that Masters, some of the old Sergio's kind of come back.
I think since winning that Masters, that major, which sort of made him feel belong, and now you get to go to the dinner every time and everything else. I think he lost the hunger. I really do.
Yeah.
We got plenty to thank.
And had his child.
Chris Raby, John Goen, Doug Bell, TJ Reeves. We'll do it all again tomorrow. We got a big lineup for you tomorrow, including Jimmy Ogle, Kevin Kane, Jim Gallagher, John Varlas, and some other surprises. So that'll do it for all of us. Thank you, Drew. Thanks to everybody. Been a great day at TPC Southwind. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.
Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Is your air conditioning system ready for the hot Memphis summer? Good news, it's spring cleaning time at Conway Services. We'll come out and perform our exclusive 16-point Energy Saver Super Tune-Up on your air conditioning system for only $69. Did you know the number one cause of air conditioning system breakdown is dirt? A dirty air conditioning system can literally starve the life from your home's cooling system, causing untimely breakdowns, higher utility costs, and even premature equipment failure. We'll remove years of dirt, grime, and leaves from your air conditioning system, making sure you're ready for the hot Memphis summer, all for only $69. It's like taking your air conditioner to a car wash. Plus, right now, we'll treat your air conditioner with a special Teflon coating to help protect against the hot Memphis sun. So call Conway Services, the Mid-South's premier heating, cooling, plumbing, and electric service company at 384-3511, and call this week and we'll perform your super tune-up for only $57.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
I'm here with Anna and Catherine, two of Mr. Charlie Virgos' granddaughters at the Rendezvous restaurant. Okay, ladies, you guys and gals now ship a Rendezvous nacho box. Why had no one thought of that before?
We do. We have no idea. Someone suggested it to us, and at first even we went, can we make that work?
So we sent a bunch of sample boxes to friends and family to only rave reviews.
Okay, so what comes in the nacho box?
You get Rendezvous pulled pork, a bag of Brim's corn chips, a bottle of Rendezvous barbecue sauce, a bottle of Rendezvous seasoning, a tub of Poncho's cheese dip, and a jar of Flo's pickled jalapenos from Felicia Suzanne's.
The box is $99, which includes overnight shipping. It makes 6 to 8 full dinner-sized nachos, or feeds way more if you're just serving it as an appetizer.
It truly is a perfect taste of Memphis. A great gift for family, friends, clients, coworkers, or just some Memphis expats.
Where do we order these delicious nachos?
At hogsfly.com.
Mr. Charlie Virgos is